Okay, so we have finally made it through our 5 days of heart healthy eating, but I wanted to talk real quick about the difference between fat free and sugar free, what those are. So, when it says fat free on an item, you're thinking, oh, that's great. It takes all the fat out. I don't have to worry about it. Well, the problem is yes, they do remove the fat. So, if you look on the back on the nutrition label, it says, 0 grams of fat. However, if you look at the sugar content, then you'll see that that is increased because they have to replace it with something, or it wouldn't really taste that great, or also the consistency of it wouldn't hold together, so they have to replace it with something, and usually is sugar. And so let's take, for instance, salad dressing is a huge one, and because we know that it's typically higher in fat, so we are drawn more to the fat-free. But if you look at the back under the ingredients, you'll notice that the second ingredient is corn syrup. So you're pretty much eating corn syrup, which our body doesn't really, recognize as being a pure sugar. So, that's not really good for you. You don't want to do that. So stay, either make your own dressings, which is great to do, and I have some recipes I'm going to post later, and or just sprinkle some lemon and olive oil, and that's a great salad dressing that you know what's in there, and you don't have to worry about the sugar content. Let's talk about cheeses. So when you go and you look at the different cheese items, you'll see that, there's a wide variety. I think there's way too much cheese. It just frustrates me to figure out what one to choose. And so you have, fat-free again, or you have the partially skimmed, or you have the whole percent, like the 2% usually says. So when you look at the fat-free, again, it's taking out the fat, but they have to replace it with something, right? So typically with the cheeses, it's going to be sodium. So that sodium content goes up. And again, that's just not, what we do for our bodies. It increases our blood pressure and, makes us feel bloated, and it just isn't good to consume a lot of sodium. So I would choose the partially skimmed, cheeses, and or the cheddars are okay. That's on our list, the cheddars. Okay, so now let's talk about sugar-free. Okay, so again, we think, oh, sugar, we hear it all the time. Too much sugar is bad for us. So taking the sugar out sounds great, right? Well, what they're doing is taking the pure sugar out, and then they're replacing it with an artificial sweetener. So our bodies are definitely not going to recognize that artificial sweetener. And so it just kind of gets pushed to aside, and, that sugar just eventually turns into that cortisone fat that is really, really hard, literally hard, and hard to get rid of as well. So, you hear all the time the artificial sweeteners like Diet Coke has that aspartame. Crystal Light has aspartame. A lot of teas, like those sugary teas, peach tea or green teas, has aspartame. That's going to be the thing that comes out next that's not good for you and that's causing overweight problems is teas. Because if you look on the back, the ingredients are just not there. Yes, herbal green tea is great, but when you buy it in a bottle with all the different flavors, citrus, and it's just not good for you. So stay away from sugar-free items because it just gets replaced with something else. Okay? All right. So I just wanted to thank everyone for participating in this group. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you learned something that you didn't already. And, it just helps us to stay focused, at least. Even if you didn't follow the program to a T, I hope it at least got you thinking about, drinking more water, eating healthier, and get you on the right path. So now you're probably thinking, okay, now what? What do I do? I've got all this information about eating healthy. What is the next step? Well, next week we have a cardio program starting. And so, you got your eating down. Now we need to start adding exercises. So like I said this morning, not only are we going to keep our heart strong with what we eat, but we are going to use some cardiovascular exercises. So this is a great program to do next. It really pushes you, and it helps you understand where your heart rate should be. And, I hope you can participate in that program. It's going to be a little bit easier because it's not going to be all that information. It's just going to be, here's what you do for today. Do it. Let us know how you did. So I know it's a little overwhelming with all this information, but I wanted to get a lot out there in those 5 days. So I'm going to post an invite. So if you guys want to join me next week for a free cardio program, just let me know. And again, I'm so excited that you participated, and I was glad to have reconnected with a lot of people I haven't talked to in a while. So that was great. Hope everyone has a great day, and I will hopefully be in contact with you for next week during the cardio program. Thank you so much.